4 Alaska volcanoes are erupting or showing dangerous unrest simultaneously today, and most Americans have no idea. Korovin Volcano exploded from its crater lake at 3:55 a.m. Alaska time this morning, and aviation color code changed. And Great Sitkin Volcano has been erupting for 5 full years since July 2021, with no sign of stopping. Because the United States has an active volcano classified at watch level and aviation color code orange today. Great Sitkin at 5,709 feet sits in the Aleutian Islands, and its summit crater is full of active lava, which means lava flows have filled most of the summit crater and advanced into valleys below since 2021. And the Alaska Volcano Observatory confirmed today that elevated surface temperatures remain visible on that growing lava dome, because satellite images continue to show the heat signature of an actively growing volcanic dome inside the crater. Which means Great Sitkin has been continuously erupting longer than most American severe weather seasons last combined, and minor earthquakes are being detected today associated with rockfall on the growing dome as it continues to build. Because no major explosions have occurred at Great Sitkin since May 2021, but the slow lava output continues daily, which means this is one of the longest continuous low-level volcanic eruptions in modern Aleutian volcano history. Margaret in Lake Charles has been following the Great Sitkin eruption and says 5 consecutive years is genuinely rare. Now let us talk about the volcano that actually exploded this morning, Korovin, within the Atka Volcanic Complex. Because at 3:55 a.m. Alaska time this Thursday morning, a small explosion was detected at Korovin Volcano's crater lake. And that explosion was captured in both seismic and infrasound data simultaneously across the monitoring network today. Which means the explosion had enough energy to register on multiple scientific instruments across the Aleutian network. Because brief explosive events at Korovin are not uncommon, but they can occur without significant precursory warning signs. And the current aviation color code at the Atka complex is now yellow following this morning's 3:55 a.m. event. Which means pilots and aircraft in the Aleutian region face elevated awareness requirements around the Atka area today. And now let us talk about the third active Alaska volcano, Shishaldin, at 9,373 feet on Unimak Island. Because Shishaldin is showing a sulfur dioxide plume drifting westward confirmed in satellite images today, which means Shishaldin is actively degassing with visible SO2 emissions detected in multiple satellite passes. And the fourth Alaska volcano showing dangerous unrest is Mount Kupreanof at 6,217 feet. Seismicity continues there. Because while no explosions have occurred at Kupreanof, low-level seismic unrest is ongoing and being closely monitored, which means the Alaska Volcano Observatory has 4 separate active alert bulletins out today for the same volcanic arc. Comment your city below. Are you in Alaska or tracking any of these 4 active volcanoes today? And here's what makes today one of the most extraordinary weather days of this entire summer so far. Because while those 4 Alaska volcanoes are erupting, 24 separate severe weather events are firing across America simultaneously, which means today is not just a volcanic story or just a severe weather story, it is both simultaneously. Dale in Toledo is watching both volcano bulletins and national radar. He says this Thursday is flat out wild, and we will break down every major active weather event coast to coast, starting with the Mountain West. Starting in Montana, where trained weather spotters have confirmed golf ball size hail in Fergus and Judith Basin counties. Because golf ball size hail means hailstones reaching nearly 2 inches in diameter, causing property damage everywhere, which means the severe thunderstorm warning for that storm specifically notes that people and animals outdoors will be injured. A second severe thunderstorm warning for Lewis and Clark County covers half-dollar size hail and 60 miles per hour gusts. Because Bowman's Corner and Bean Lake sit directly in the path of that Lewis and Clark County storm, a third Montana storm hit Broadwater and Jefferson counties with golf ball hail and 60 miles per hour wind gusts combined. Which means Townsend, Montana and Elkhorn State Park are directly in the warning zone for that severe thunderstorm. Because Montana is dealing with 3 separate active severe thunderstorm warnings across 3 different county clusters. Moving south into Idaho, where a severe thunderstorm warning covers Lewis and Nez Perce counties through 4:15 p.m. Pacific, which means 60 miles per hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail are expected across south-central Nez Perce and Lewis. And in Nevada, a severe thunderstorm warning covers Elko County 7 miles west of Elko, with 60 miles per hour gusts. Because continuous cloud-to-ground lightning is occurring with the Elko storm making outdoor exposure immediately dangerous. Which means visitors and workers at the Elko, Nevada area need to find sturdy indoor shelter immediately tonight. And this confirms that Nevada's severe thunderstorm warning includes both dangerous hail and lightning simultaneously. Moving into Wyoming, where a flash flood warning covers Bighorn and Washakie counties along the No Wood River corridor, because 1.5 to 2.5 inches of rain fell on normally dry washes and gulches feeding the No Wood River upstream, which means Paint Rock Creek, Brokenback Creek, and Buffalo Creek are all experiencing active flooding tonight. And rainfall rates of 1 to 2 inches per hour are ongoing, making further rapid river rises very likely. And the most dangerous Mountain West flash flood today is a burn scar debris flow in Piute County, Utah. Frank in Springfield says burn scar debris flows like the Piute County event are among the deadliest hazards, because Piute County Emergency Management confirmed a muddy, ashy debris flow from 10 Mile Canyon at Highway 89, which means the Cottonwood burn scar in Piute County is sending rock, mud, vegetation, and debris down the canyon, because roads and driveways may be washed away entirely during a burn scar debris flow of this intensity. And the NWS says, quote, if you encounter floodwaters in this area, climb to safety immediately, end quote, which means this is a life-threatening situation for anyone on or near Highway 89 at 10 Mile Canyon. And additional flows are likely from Cottonwood Canyon as the Piute County event continues to develop through the evening. Also in Utah, a flash flood warning covers the San Rafael River Gorge and Buckskin Gulch in Emery County. And Iron County, Utah faces flash flooding near Canaraville Falls with up to 1.25 inches of rain fallen. Across Arizona, the summer monsoon is firing hard with multiple flash flood warnings active from Tucson through Cochise County, because Cochise County sees 2 to 3 inches of rain with Rucker Canyon, Cave Creek, and Ash Creek flooding. And Santa Cruz County has flash flooding through Patagonia, Sonoita, and Patagonia Lake State Park today, which means Coronado National Memorial and Parker Canyon Lake in southeastern Arizona are all under active flood warnings. 4 Alaska volcanoes active, Montana golf ball hail confirmed, burn scar debris flow Utah, golf ball hail Montana. And we have only just begun the coast-to-coast breakdown of everything firing across America this Thursday evening. In New Mexico, a dust storm warning fired for Hidalgo County with under a quarter-mile visibility near Lordsburg, because a wall of blowing dust near Steins is affecting Interstate 10 near the Arizona border at 40 miles per hour, which means the pull aside stay alive message is in effect for I-10 near the New Mexico-Arizona line. And in Texas, the severe weather picture today is extraordinary, starting with Big Bend National Park in Brewster County, because the Terlingua Fire Department reported flash flooding along Terlingua Ranch Road between Highway 118 and 385, which means Big Bend National Park, Santiago Peak, and Persimmon Gap are all under flash flood warning tonight. And Midland and Odessa, Texas, 2 of the Permian Basin's largest cities, are simultaneously under flash flood warning. Earl in western South Dakota is watching the Midland-Odessa situation that is some of the flattest terrain in Texas, because slow-moving thunderstorms producing 1 to 2 inches per hour are targeting Midland International Air and Spaceport, which means both Midland and Odessa cities of a combined 300,000 people face urban flash flooding today. A 3rd Texas flash flood warning covers Monahans Sandhills State Park, flooding Crane, Winkler, and Ward counties, because in south-central Texas, residual flooding continues along the Pedernales River through Fredericksburg and LBJ State Park, which means the Texas flood story from days ago is still not over. New flood events keep firing today. And in Missouri, the story takes a dramatic turn. Whiteman Air Force Base is under a flash flood warning, because a flash flood warning covers Pettis County, including Whiteman, AFB, Sedalia, Warrensburg, and Knob Noster, Missouri, which means the United States Air Force installation is directly in the path of an active flash flood warning. And a second Missouri flash flood warning covers Johnson and Lafayette counties, including Holden and Pittsville, from runoff, because emergency management east of Pittsville confirmed active flash flooding even as thunderstorms in the area diminish. And now the East Coast event that has already produced a confirmed 65 miles per hour wind gust report today. Sandra in Alexandria is watching the New Jersey storm 65 miles per hour at the beach is flat out gnarly, because 65 miles per hour was confirmed at the Ship Bottom Mesonet Weather Station in Ocean County, New Jersey today, which means the severe thunderstorm warning for Burlington and Ocean counties carries a 70 miles per hour wind gust hazard designation. And the Garden State Parkway between mile markers 57 and 73 is directly inside the active warning zone, because Barnegat, Tuckerton, Surf City, Manahawkin, and Beach Haven West are all in the warning zone tonight. And NWS says lightning will affect the beaches, so people must immediately leave the beach and seek shelter. Comment your state or city below. Are you under any of these 24 active weather alerts across America today? Now, the biggest weather story of the next 48 hours, Saturday, July 18th, is shaping up to be major, because over 52 million Americans are already inside the slight risk zone for severe weather this Saturday afternoon. which means Philadelphia, Columbus, Indianapolis, Washington, D.C., and Baltimore are all in the bullseye for Saturday. And 75 million more Americans sit in the marginal risk from New York to Chicago to Detroit, because this is not random summer pop-ups, this is an organized severe weather system with real teeth. Which means meteorologists are genuinely alarmed because models are actually trending stronger for Saturday, not weaker, because the trend is going one direction only toward a more significant severe weather event, not a weaker one. And here's what makes Saturday so dangerous: 70-degree dew points reaching as far north as western New York, which means tropical moisture is pushing farther north than it has any business going even for mid-July conditions. Because when 70-degree dew points combine with strong wind shear and a cold front pushing into that unstable air mass, the atmosphere becomes capable of producing damaging straight-line winds, large hail, a few tornadoes, and flash flooding, which means Saturday is going to be an all-hazards day for a very large swath of the American population. And forecasters say late afternoon is when first storms fire across Ohio and western New York along the front. Because the Columbus and Indianapolis corridor is first in line for potentially very large hail Saturday afternoon. And down across the Mid-Atlantic, a separate surface trough east of the Appalachians fires storms off the Blue Ridge, which means the D.C. area and Virginia suburbs face a separate storm trigger independent from the main cold front. Because having two separate severe weather triggers, the cold front and the Blue Ridge trough, doubles the overall risk. And by Saturday evening, a surface low deepens over the Ohio Valley, combining both systems into one squall line, which means Saturday evening could bring a fast-moving line of severe storms with widespread damaging wind potential. One factor that could weaken Saturday is morning rain, leaving cloud cover that limits daytime heating and instability, and Canadian wildfire smoke acting like morning clouds could reduce instability if another smoke surge moves south. But if the sun comes out across the I-70 corridor on Saturday afternoon, this event is the real deal. 4 Alaska volcanoes, 24 severe events, 52 million in Saturday's bullseye, and we are only on Thursday, because Friday, July 17th also has active weather across multiple separate regions before Saturday's main event arrives. And in the northern tier, both western Montana and northern Idaho face a marginal risk for severe storms Friday, which means the same counties already dealing with golf ball hail today face another round of storm potential tomorrow. Because enough storm energy remains in the atmosphere that 60 miles per hour winds and hail are possible again Friday evening. And in Minnesota and Michigan, a subtle energy wave rolls through the upper Midwest Friday with tornado potential. Because where cold meets warm near the Great Lakes Friday evening, a brief tornado cannot be ruled out. Which means if you are headed to any outdoor Great Lakes event on Friday evening, watch the sky carefully. And the good news, the massive heat dome cooking the northern plains is finally breaking after this pattern shift, because a cold front and northwest flow from Canada will bring genuine temperature relief to the Dakotas and Minnesota. Which means after days of 100-plus heat, the northern tier finally catches a break starting Saturday and into Sunday. But forecasters warn that dangerous heat will stick around across the south and southeast well into next week. And those gusty winds bringing northern relief will also drag thick Canadian wildfire smoke into the northeast, which means air quality could deteriorate again for New York, Philadelphia, and New England over the weekend. And looking into Sunday and Monday, a stretched-out boundary sets up over the southeast, trapping tropical moisture there, because heavy rain and localized flash flooding are expected across Florida, Georgia, and the Carolinas Sunday and Monday, which means Georgia and Carolina coast residents face continued flooding risk even after Saturday's main event ends. And there is a slight chance that energy along that southeast boundary could develop semi-tropical characteristics, because forecasters watch the Gulf Shore from the Big Bend of Florida back toward New Orleans for development, which means the Gulf is not quiet, low-probability tropical development remains possible over 7 to 10 days. And in the Pacific Ocean, the picture is even more active with 3 separate storm systems currently developing, because one system builds in the East Pacific and a second follows right on its heels for the weekend. And a third could develop around July 23rd to 24th in the East Pacific with models suggesting major strength, which means East Pacific Ocean temperatures are so warm they extend far west past the Hawaiian Islands, because some ensemble model members are showing systems as strong as 977 millibars or even 968 millibars near Hawaii. And while no slam dunk exists for Hawaii, any vacation plans there after July 25th need careful day-by-day monitoring. And in the Western Pacific near Taiwan, the Philippines, and Eastern Asia, another typhoon could develop later this month, which means the Pacific Basin may be heading into one of its most active 2-week periods of the summer. Comment your state below and tell us which of today's hazards hits closest to your area. So here's the complete action plan based on everything unfolding from Alaska volcanoes to Atlantic coastlines today. If you are in Montana, Idaho, or Nevada under a severe thunderstorm warning, move inside away from windows now. Near Highway 89 and 10 Mile Canyon, Utah, leave immediately and get to high ground above the wash. Because burn-scarred debris flows travel extremely fast with almost no advance warning, and they are immediately life-threatening. If you're near Whiteman AFB or in Sedalia in Warrensburg, Missouri, avoid all road crossings with water. And if you're on a New Jersey beach tonight, get off immediately and seek substantial shelter indoors. For Saturday, July 18th in the Ohio Valley and Mid-Atlantic, make sure your family has a severe weather plan. Because 52 million in the slight risk means a real and significant chance severe weather affects your area Saturday. Know your closest sturdy shelter location, charge your devices, and download the NWS Weather Alerts app before Saturday. And follow NWS social media accounts for real-time updates as this Saturday system continues to develop and trend stronger. Tell us below, do you want Saturday's setup or the Ring of Fire pattern in late July covered next? And let us know your city and what the weather looks like outside your window today. 4 Alaska volcanoes active simultaneously today, including Great Sitkin, erupting for 5 consecutive years. Korovin Volcano exploded at 3:55 a.m. today, while 24 severe weather events fired coast to coast simultaneously. 52 million Americans under Saturday's severe weather bullseye, and models are only trending more serious. 4 volcanoes, 24 events, 52 million in the bullseye, and this is only Thursday. Stay ready.